Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Michael. This is for informational and educational purposes only. Uh, let's get to it. So stocks have traded in the upper end of its 5-month trading range yesterday before pairing gains. S&P 500 remains stuck within a 3,800 to 4,200 range. A slew of Fed speakers is set for the rest of the week ahead of a pre-meeting blackout period. Begins this weekend with Williams and Goolsbee today. Earnings results are back in focus. Netflix fell as much as 10% yesterday after a result on miss and lower guidance and softer sub numbers. But they also had strong free cash flow, eased fears as shares recovered. Today on the calendar, several more banks. Western Alliance Bancorp bouncing after good results. In the Asian markets, the Nikkei index fell 52 points, 28,606. The Shanghai index dropped 23 points to 3370, and the Hang Seng index declined 282 points to 20,367. In Europe, the German DAX is down 38 points to 15,844, and the FTSE 100 falls 30 points to 70,878. Stocks failed to hold initial gains on Tuesday, with major averages finishing little change after two Fed officials reiterated their views that rates need to keep climbing. Fed Bank Atlanta President Bostic said on CNBC he favors asking interest rates one more time and then holding them above 5%. St. Louis Fed President Bullard said in Reuters interview he favors getting federal funds into the range of 5.5 to 5.75. Current target band is 4.75 to 5%. Calls for higher rates by Fed speakers for months continue, but the stock market remains unfazed, holding not far from the 2023 highs into the heart of earnings season for the next 3 weeks. See, world news, Eurozone consumer inflation eased to 6.9% from 8.5%, falling rapidly in energy costs, but excluding unprocessed food and fuel. UK inflation fell to 10.1% in March from February's 10.4%, still above expectations for a decline to 9.8%. Rivian Automobile, RIVN, downgraded to sector perform from outperform at RBC Capital. UAL Corporation, first quarter adjusted EPS earnings 63 cents versus estimates of 73 cents on revenues of 11.48 billion versus estimate of 11.42 billion. Guides second quarter adjusted EPS $3.50 to $4 versus estimate of $3.65. Tesla cut prices for the 6th time this year, cutting on Model 3 and Model Y once more ahead of the company's first quarter results due after the market close. Has cut U.S. prices of its base Model 3 by 11% so far this year, and that of its base Model Y by 20%. Martin Transport, quarter one, Martin MRTN, Q1 EPS 28 cents versus 27 cents estimates. Quarter one revenues 298.02 million versus estimate of 309.89 million. Fulton Financial, FULT, quarter one EPS 39 cents versus estimate of 48. Hancock Whitney, HWC, first quarter EPS $1.45 versus $1.43 estimates. Interactive Brokers, first quarter adjusted EPS $1.35 versus estimate of $1.41. Metropolitan Bank Holding, MCB, first quarter EPS 2.25 versus 1.79. Synchrony, SYF, quarter one EPS $1.35 versus estimates of $1.46. United Community Bank, UCBI, first quarter operating EPS of 58 cents versus 69 cent estimate. Western Alliance Bancorp, Quarter one adjusted EPS 230 versus estimate of 209. Really blew them out of the water. And healthcare, Elevance, ELV, quarter one adjusted EPS $9.46 versus $9.26 estimate. Intuitive Surgical, which is moving on the market today, quarter one EPS $1.23 versus $1.20 estimate. Vaxcyte, PCVX, 11.2 million shares, secondary price stock offering at $41. Netflix, shares rally after being down as much as 13% initially last night on a miss and lower guidance. ACML and V, quarter one earnings of €1.96 billion on revenue versus a 2.15 billion estimate. Walt Disney is planning to lay off thousands of employees next week. There looks like they're going to cut 15% of its entertainment division workforce. Omnicom, OMC, quarter one EPS $1.56 versus estimate of $1.39. CDW sees preliminary quarter one revenue roughly 5.1 billion below consensus 5.56, citing intensifying economic uncertainty that led our customers to spend more cautiously and prioritization of mission critical initiatives. Fox News, FOXA, has agreed to settle Dominion defamation lawsuit over the 2020 presidential election. Fox paid more than $787 million to settle Dominion case, according to reports. So that's it on our news. And let's share our screen and get to our charts. Take a look at, we'll shake things up a bit and start out with our indexes. QQQ looks like they're holding steady, down slightly 0.34%. Take a look at the VIX. The VIX is down again, 1646. I'm not sure how much more they can go down before they bounce, but we'll keep an eye on it. So that should mean the S&P 500 is up slightly. And interesting, they're down 0.23%. The Dow is off 0.28%. IWM, which was up earlier yesterday and then pulled back, is pulling back to its 20-day moving average. Look at the dollar. Dollar is up slightly at 0.2%. Our 10-year yields, yeah, they're highest point in the week, and they just kind of are surging off the bottom here. So let's take a look at our 1 to 3 year bond. And those yields are going up as well because the bond is retreating. Look at our cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is pulling back. Ethereum was pulling back earlier. They're trying to fight the good fight. Yeah, they're off their lows. They pulled back to their 10-day moving average. They're still down 3%. I want to say that they were down 5 to 6% earlier. So let's look at some of our ETFs. Metals and mining was up yesterday. It's pulled back quite a bit today. It looks like it's under its 20-day moving average. Energy is pulling back. Oil prices pulled back. They did bounce off of their 20-day moving average here. Take a look at natural gas. Natural gas, it was down in the sixes. It's bounced a little bit. It's pulling back. It's off about 3.7% this morning. Take a look at semiconductors, which has been pretty much leading. Semiconductors pulling back to the 50-day. We'll see if it can hold there. Our airlines, interesting, the airlines are up today. Take a quick look at United Airlines, which reported earnings. They missed, but must have been happy about that miss. Wasn't as bad as they thought it would be. Bouncing off of its 20-day moving average. So let's take a look at utilities. Utilities hanging strong just below its 20-day moving average. Real estate continues to battle. It's still below its 50 and 200-day moving average. Financials pulling back slightly after a nice run off the bottom. See if this bottoming base holds. Technology is pulling back slightly. Technology has been leading. Software is pulling back as well. Oh, this is not the one I thought. This is International Game Technology. We'll look at that a little later. Right now, let's take a look at our biotech. IBB, it's come up quite a bit off the bottom, pulling back slightly. Maybe it's trying to put in a handle on this cup. Look at our other biotech, looks pretty strong. It's up between the 50 and the 200. See if it can make it past the 200. Look at our builders. Home construction remains pretty strong. Materials, building materials, pulling back here ever so slightly. Consumer discretionary, pulling back slightly, not much going on there. And look at our industrials. After a big move here, is pulling back to its 50-day moving average. And let's go take a look, see what's moving this morning. Earlier in the week, Dell made a pretty good move, pulling back here a little bit. To surgical, gapped up close to 12% on its earnings, increase of 9%. Stryker Corporation is up pretty strong. I guess there was an analyst that came out and says they're back to performing procedures in the hospital. So the surgical instrument group is moving up on that news. It's up 3.15%. Sanofi, a French developer of pharmaceutical products, up slightly, 1% and 133% increase in volume, it looks like. Doesn't really show it on the chart yet. We'll have to take a look at the end of the day. Novartis continues strong volume. Had a number of volume up over here. A lot of blue volume bars here and lower volume on the selling days. And Elf Beauty, Oakland cosmetic manufacturer, continues to do well. They have a price target of 100, so we'll see if it gets there. And then in the infrastructure, got Eagle Materials, which is up slightly, up 0.5%. Decliners, STW Corporation down close to 14%. They had a pre-announcement, I believe, that they were having trouble and they were going to come far short of their earnings estimate. Not sure what happened to Ford. It's down close to 15%. And their earnings aren't due for another 15 days. Have to look further into this situation. Netflix it's down about 4%. It was down after hours about 13% last night, so it has come back quite a bit. Its earnings were negative 18% here. Procept Biorobotics is down 8.5%. Their earnings aren't due for another 8 days. Jamf Holdings, Apple Enterprise Management is down about 4%. ASML, leader in semiconductor manufacturing, is down this morning, gapping down 3.7%. Earnings came in at 180%. So I'm wondering if their guidance was poor this morning. And last but not least, Lithia Motors is down 6%, is fighting to be in the upper part of its range. Its earnings came in at negative 29%. So that's our report for today. Hope everyone has a great Wednesday. Keep the faith, keep pursuing your dreams, and do as many activities as you can. If you have any questions about your personal finance questions, feel free to be in contact with us at Michael Lean, as you see it spelled, 29@gmail.com. In the meantime, Mornings with Michael has been brought to you for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. Hope everyone has a great day. Go out there and fight the good fight.